All right, and we're live, everyone. Hello there. Welcome back to another Tea Time with Tia for Geek Vibes Nation. I feel like it's been a little while since I did one of these. Being in self-isolation, you kind of get lazy, mosey around the house. You don't really know what to do. So I think that I just was at peak laziness to not do one of these, and also didn't really know what to talk about. Unfortunately, there just seems like, not a whole lot of new stuff coming out just because everything is shut down. I know I talk about this a lot, but it's the reality that we're in right now. But I did recently watch a show. It's not a new show, but it was new to me. And it's called Bodyguard, and it's on Netflix. It's a 6-episode miniseries. It's a British miniseries, and it's so good. My friend Kelly, who's also a contributor for Geek Vibes Nation, has suggested forever that I check this out. She was like, when it first came out, I remember she was like, you have to watch Bodyguard. And, I didn't have like an aversion to watching it. I just put it off. I had other things to watch. But finally yesterday, it has been staring at me on my suggested list forever. And I finally was like, it's 6 episodes. What am I doing? Let's just put it on. And wow. I knew Richard. So Richard Madden plays the main character, and I knew that I liked him from his time as Robb Stark on Game of Thrones. But, I liked Robb Stark, but I think we can all admit that he wasn't, say, the most interesting character. Like, his character story was always the type that, like, he was supposed to be, the good king, the true king of the North. And then, his story was always to die. So I never really paid that much attention. I knew that Richard Madden had also been cast for Marvel's upcoming movie, The Eternals. So I think the Bodyguard is so weird because it's called Bodyguard, but I always want to say The Bodyguard. But I think that watching this got me really excited for him in the Eternals, because it showed me that he can do like action shots and everything. Because there was fighting in Game of Thrones, but that's more, I don't know, there's just a difference. I just didn't, anyway, that's what it proved to me. So anyway, I have my phone. Let me just look at some of the facts because I don't want to get anything wrong. And I probably should have did this, but whatever. So it's as I said, it's a 6-episode miniseries. You have Richard Madden, Keely Hawes, Gina McKee, Sophie Rundle, Vincent Franklin, and Pippa Haywood, and other characters, obviously. But the main one is Richard Madden. And by the way, sorry for the sirens. Of course, the sounds of Yonkers. But you have Richard Madden, who plays this cop who obviously is going through a lot of PTSD, but doesn't want to acknowledge it. So just kind of keep that in mind of him as the character. And then he is pretty much assigned to be the bodyguard of the Home Secretary. And he doesn't necessarily really kind of believe in her stance on a lot of things politically, but he's very, like, he does his job and he does it really well. Like, the first episode was so great. I was just so blown away. Like, the opening of it, like, first of all, this isn't spoilers or anything, but the show opens up pretty much with him on a train with his kids ready to go back home. He kind of hears like rumors that there may be a terrorist plot, and he just kind of takes it upon himself to, put himself into the investigation. He runs into the bomber, who is this young woman, and he pretty much not only talks her down from not pulling the trigger, but pressing the button, but also prevents her from getting hurt or killed by the police. So it just, you understand that, like, he's very much like if he says he's going to do something, he does it. Like, he doesn't break promises or anything. And he is very, like, stern and, tries to be very professional, especially when he is the Home Secretary's bodyguard. But he does. I'm sure if you've watched the trailer, you know that he ends up having a sexual relationship with the Home Secretary. So that kind of complicates things a little bit more. He has to be professional, protect her, while opposing, say, her political views, but then also obviously gaining an affection for her because they are sexually involved with each other. So you got like a lot going on with this, but it was just really interesting to watch because we saw Richard Madden just really be able to play a very like stern character, but also we got so much emotions from him. We, really got to see like what is on this guy's mind, what he's dealing with. Then he has a thing with like, is like, he's married, but they're estranged, like, and you can really care because he is kind of like refusing to acknowledge like his PTSD. That obviously caused a lot of strain on their relationship, which is why they're really not together anymore. But their relationship comes back into play like later on in the show, and it's actually a really like sincere and more meaningful relationship. Like he obviously cares about the Home Secretary, and they have like this really steamy relationship that, if you're a fan of Richard Madden, you enjoy watching. But you're not like me personally, I wasn't as invested. I kind of was like, this is obviously a temporary thing. I was like, this is a temporary thing until you and your wife actually figure out your shit, which I won't spoil if they ever figure their shit out. But I do end up really liking their dynamic together because, he wants to act like he's so put together, but there's so much underlying that's going on with him. And then in the middle of everything, because the Home Secretary has such controversial views and stance on things, people are literally plotting against her life. So he has to protect her, pretty much put himself right in front of her. There is this one scene that's so awesome. Like they're in a car, they're getting shot at, and he pretty much has to like drive the car backwards, while trying to reassure her that everything's okay. He's really good at reassuring people throughout the series. Like I believed every single time he said something was okay, even though the surrounding, you're like, it doesn't look okay at all. But I don't know. I really love Bodyguard. Kelly, if you're watching this, you're completely correct. I adored this show. I don't know if there's going to be a second season. I kind of don't want there to be a second season. I feel like they told the story that they needed to, and that's all we really need to see. We can assume that, his character, David Budd, hopefully gets the help that he really, really, really needs, because he needs a lot of help, which everyone needs help. He was just so good in it, and it really made me happy that he's going to be in the Eternals. I mean, again, I wasn't like disappointed. I said to myself, oh, look, here's the guy from Game of Thrones. But now that I've watched Bodyguard, I'm like, I'm impressed. Like, he's a good actor. He can do these action sequences. I'm really excited to see what he has to bring to the table because, Robb Stark was always like bland to me. Not that I was the biggest fan of Jon Snow either, which I know a lot of people love Jon Snow, but it's kind of cool in the Eternals how, oh God, what's his name? Oh shoot, I know a lot of people are good. Jon Snow, Kit Harington. There you go. That Kit Harington and Richard Madden are going to be in the same movie together. It's like, hey, Game of Thrones reunion, Stark Snow. But yeah, Bodyguard is awesome. It's 6 episodes, an hour each. So what? That's 6 hours of your time. You're not doing anything. You're home right now. You're self-isolating. You totally have time to watch Bodyguard. It is really good. It's badass. Like, I was just excited the whole time. I was just like, immersed in the story, immersed in the action. Every time Richard Madden said "ma'am" in his accent, I was just like, oh my God, it was just so cool. It just gave me a totally different perspective on this actor than I had previously. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just suggesting Bodyguard. I've been trying to watch things so that I can provide content for people. I mean, we're doing a lot at Geek Vibes Nation, but unfortunately, there's just not a lot of new things coming out. So I decided to revisit some oldies but goodies on Netflix, and one of them is Bodyguard. So make sure that you check that out. And please let me know what you think about it. Maybe I'm just like getting a little too ecstatic, but there has to be other people out there who enjoyed Richard Madden in Bodyguard. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to look it up really quick, hopefully really quick, but I believe he won an award for it. Let's see. I know I should have had all this stuff like out there. Wikipedia is not being very kind to me right now with it having things, reception. Okay, let's look at the accolades. Alrighty. Yeah, so Richard Madden won a Golden Globe for his performance, which is awesome. Let's see what else he won. Okay, there's a few other award shows that I don't really know about. How about the Emmys? What do we got with the Emmys? I could have sworn I saw that. No? Okay. They were nominated, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so he won a Golden Globe, which is awesome. So Richard Madden, Golden Globe winner for Bodyguard. Make sure you check that out. And make sure you check like everything out. Before we do our closing, here's Lady coming to join today. Hi.
Hello, Ladybug.
Coming in at the end. You always got to be fashionably late, right? She's the best. And there's Paulie. He didn't watch Bodyguard with me, so he has no commentary, which you should watch it because I'm suggesting for everyone to watch it. But yeah, make sure that you check everything out that Geek Vibes Nation has to offer. We've been doing a lot of through this app Zoom, like game shows pretty much. And I've been killing it, by the way. I apparently really know a lot of quotes from superhero movies, which I don't know what that says about me, but I'm not mad at it. But make sure you check us out. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, anywhere. So that's Geek Vibes Nation. We have awesome podcasts such as My Top 10. We haven't really been doing Geek Vibes Live because there's no news, but we also have our friends of the podcast who contribute for us. So Scene and Nerd, They Call This a Movie, Stranger Damies, just so many awesome things to occupy your time while you're self-isolating. And of course, you can check me out on Twitter and Instagram. We are telling you to have a great freaking day. Bye.
Bye.